Hello everyone. So welcome to this video about resistance, how to overcome it. And we're going to do a little healing afterwards. But first I'm going to teach some stuff about resistance, how to deal with it. What is resistance? Resistance is actually an inherent part of the project, to be honest. Resistance will always come. It's like always there. It's just you have to like recognize the resistance within you and be able to translate it into, or translate, be able to have an antidote, basically. Becoming aware is the first step, and recognizing it is the second, and then doing the work anyway. And yes, that's maybe easier said than done, but the way to tackle resistance is also to allow yourself to feel love for the project, to feel love for why you started in the first place, to maybe even, read your mission statement, to remember the mission statement, to know what you're doing it for, to love the idea. Because, it's so important, because sometimes we forget to actually, we sabotage ourselves because we're not really enjoying the journey, and we're only focused so much on the results that sometimes we don't allow ourselves to have fun in the process. And if like your dream life is very, there's no enjoyment involved in it, then eventually, if you do that for a long period of time, oh, I'm sorry about that, if you do that for a long period of time, then it often what happens is that you're going to sabotage those dreams, because that's not, that dream life that you had in mind, that you had like that picture perfect dream life in mind. Okay, so let me just get my notes. So love cures the fear inside our mind. What happens with resistance is that it's a fear-based thought that pops up, and the opposite of fear is love. So it's also the antidote. Love is the antidote to fear. So to increase the love of the project, the love of the people you're around, the love of the creative process, the love of the aliveness in these steps, love of the idea that you had and that you started with, it tackles those fear-minded, fear-based thoughts. So and the only thing I can say at this point is actually to do the action steps anyway. Resistance will come, fear will be there, but to recognize it and do the action steps anyway. It's just a thought in your mind. It's just like, it's an illusion. We create these illusions in our minds, like, this is the reason I can't do it, I have this excuse to not do it, and we make this such a reality, we make this such a truth that that is actually an illusion. Because yes, you can do it anyway. Everyone is the same, everyone can do the same things, basically. And of course, some have like more talents for this and some have more desires for this, but in the bottom line, no one is above you, no one is below you, no one is better than you, and you're no better than anyone else. It's just the work you put into it and the actions you take are basically the way to fulfill that dream life of yours. So let's see. I think we're going to start to do the meditation and a healing, and I think there will be some downloads as well. So let me just sit down for a bit and just tune into all your energies. We're just going to do like a soul success healing on resistance. So here we go. Okay, so first of all, we're going to remove the fear of being too big. We're going to remove the fear of being visible. That is created in your childhood for most of you. Yeah, we're just going to remove all the fear from all those moments that you as a kid felt you weren't good enough if you were visible, or if you were, being loud or being extroverted. Or all right, so can we teach you that it's possible for you to have that childlike energy and to have that fun, enjoying your life without feeling you're too much, without feeling without feeling you're being denied something, without feeling you're not good enough, basically, and without feeling you're being rejected by being too much, by being too extroverted, by being too joyful, or too, yeah. And I'm just going to remove all the generational trauma, that there's hard work needs to be involved in, having a comfortable life, financially, emotionally, physically, that's only for the upper class. Can I remove that limitation? Can I remove that blockage in your energy field? All right. Because what we do sometimes is we still think in classes, even though it's like so it's been like years and years ago, at least in Europe and America and stuff like that politically, historically, we don't have classes anymore, but emotionally we still carry like the generational trauma from that. We carry generational trauma from 800 or 700 years ago. So sometimes we still carry that, even though the world has changed. We as human beings and as part of bloodlines and stuff like that, we still carry that in our DNA. We still think in you're below me, you're above me, you're like in classes. So can I just remove that and let you see that that's an illusion? That was just a way of some people to control other people, to make something work in an environment and in a society. That was just pain of some people as well in the beginning. The classes, I mean, the classes were created because some people were also hurt, basically, and this was the best way to deal with that. And this is also about a collective we're speaking about, but it also comes back to like childhood stuff. So what the best we can do is actually to heal our own childhood stuff, to heal our own blockages that we carry within our DNA, but also that are being passed on to us and being manifested in our childhood. So can I just remove all that and do a little healing on that? You can let it go. You no longer have to carry that. It's a burden. It's really a burden to carry all that. And what I sometimes do with the family constellations is that we do like a ritual to give this stuff back to generations ago. So we no longer have to carry it. So we are allowed to live our own life, to do it our way, to live in this place and time, to basically live in the 21st century instead of like 400 years ago. So can we teach your body that what year it is right now, and that you're living in the 21st century, and that there's plenty Oh, okay. So what we're going to do is we need to work on a scarcity wound, because if you deep down believe that there's not enough, you're going to believe that you're not enough, that people are not going to pay you for your services because you're afraid that they won't have enough. You know, it comes back in everything in your life. If you believe that there's scarcity and that there's a big scarcity wound inside of you. So can I heal that scarcity wound in your heart, your base chakra, in your second chakra? That's your sacral chakra. And that there's enough love for the world to go around, that there's enough love for you if you open your eyes for it, that that's an illusion. Can we unplug you from the society and from the scarcity wound of society, so you can have your own thoughts about it, your own opinions, your own energy, so you can feel what you feel in your body instead of chasing the desires and chasing the opinions of the society, so you can use your own free will and you have your freedom. So for some people, what I see is also that you feel this scarcity so much in, you know, in love, in relationships, and that it makes you, it's connected to freedom in a way. And I feel like some of you are really hurt by some of the stuff in your childhood. And let me just focus on the energy a little bit more. Yeah, some of you are really, they're really hurt by what happened as a kid to you, either neglect. I think there's a big neglect wound for most of you there, that you haven't been heard, haven't been seen the way you wanted to. So, and we need to heal that in order to not run away from our life purpose, basically. Because what we do, if we haven't healed that, we're still repeating the same patterns. We're still running away like a kid, you know. And so what some people often do then is that they go to all places in the world to like distract themselves from, and this is not a bad thing inherently, but some people do like travel for running away, for, you know, as a way of spiritual bypassing. And I'm not saying this is like a general thing, but this is just what sometimes happens. And if you feel like you're one of them, it's sometimes it's helpful to and I'm not judging it because I've been there too. No, but it's really helpful if you go back to your childhood, heal the wounds there, so you can like travel in a way that feels grounded, you know, for you. Travel in a way that feels stable, that is from yourself, instead of running away from something, because that's the most beautiful thing, I believe. But we need to stop running away from like the hurt in our childhood. In all ways possible, you know, we do this in work and relationships and in all things we do this. So can I just heal those childhood wounds? And, you know, there's a lot to do there specifically for everyone. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, just, you know, let me know, send me an email or a DM. But so this is really personal stuff. This is the, you know, the childhood stuff is really personal for everyone. Everyone had like a different childhood. So, you know, to heal the specific wounds for you, we need to work on one-on-one. I can't do that like specifically in a group environment. But we can do some healing, of course. So that's what we're going to do in this video. So we're just going to heal those childhood wounds, send a lot of love, a lot of energy towards it, and already make some transformations there to let the energy flow a little bit, because I see a lot of stuck energy, especially in your what's it called? Well, in your lower stomach. And so there's a lot of stuck energy there. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that heal a little bit, let that move a little bit. So it is possible that your tummy is rumbling or something like that. That's totally normal. Or maybe some emotions come up. That's totally normal. That's always normal in my healing. So just so you know. Okay. So I'm just going to create a lot of safety in all your body. So that is able to move, that the wounds, the stuckness are able to move and heal, because the first thing you need to do if you have like a stuckness of energy inside of your body, and often that's because of neglect or trauma or something we couldn't process in that time, the energy gets stuck then, and it keeps on being stuck unless you look at it, unless you let it give it air, let it breathe. If you look at it, if you see it for what it is, if you dare to look at it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to let it breathe. Give it some air, give it some space, give it some love, give it some light, and a lot of safety. Because at those moments you didn't feel safe. That's the reason why it got stuck in the first place. You felt so unsafe that you couldn't process those emotions. And it can be big or small. Maybe you've heard me talk about those mini traumas. When I talk about trauma, a lot of people always think that it's like a big, big thing, but it can also be like a small thing that was repeating itself over and over and over again. Or like a moment where you felt neglected, or a moment where you felt denied, or a moment where you thought you deserved something and didn't get it. So can I just heal those moments so it gets a little bit more air? And I'm just gonna add the element of water into it so it can flow a little bit more. And just open yourself up to, new possibilities of healing. What's really possible right now is that in the upcoming week or month, you're gonna find some people, or maybe even you're gonna contact me, but you're gonna find some people that can help you work through these issues. Or maybe you're gonna read a book, or maybe you're just gonna have insights around these childhood stuff and childhood trauma. Okay. And this is resistance, guys. I mean, this topic was about resistance, but if you can't acknowledge what happened in your childhood stuff, you can't really let the energy flow. You can't really attract the right energy towards you because you feel like you're not deserving, you're not good enough, and then you're never going to attract it towards you. So we're going to heal those wounds for as much as we can do right now. Okay, so I feel we're gonna go to one memory that you had as a kid, and maybe kept on popping up in the minutes before this. I want you to just imagine one memory that is holding you back from achieving your dreams. And your subconscious knows exactly what that memory is for you. Just let it slide into your mind's eye. Where were you? What are you doing? Who's with you? What did you think you were capable of, but other people denied you? How did that make you feel? All right. I'm just going to give you a few moments to really visualize what's going on there. And now you realize how this memory currently still affects you in your daily life, in your work life, maybe in your relationships. How does this still affect you today? What's the feeling you're still feeling? What's the memory? What are the feelings you're still holding on to and the memory you're still holding on to? And if there are emotions, that's totally fine. It only means that, the stuckness of energy is moving. It's becoming more and more clearer. So I want you to take a deep breath in. Let this memory sink in, integrate, give it a lot of love, a lot of light. And thank your subconscious for working with you today. All right. That was it for today. This was the resistance video. I hope to see you in the next, and good luck.